Everyone thinks leaks come from factories and supply chains. The most revealing ones happen on sidewalks, in cafes, and on commuter trains. A Samsung employee was spotted using a wide Z Fold 8 in public, and the protective case didn't hide the one detail that matters. The sighting matters for one reason. It shows a real device being used like a normal phone, not a staged render or a dummy shell on a desk. When a pre-release unit ends up in public, you get clues that marketing images can't fully control, even with a thick disguise case. The person holding the device appeared to be a Samsung staffer, and the handset was wrapped in an anti-leak protective case. That type of enclosure usually adds bulk, blocks edges, and covers camera islands. It's meant to confuse observers and ruin photos. It worked on the small stuff. It didn't work on the proportions. Even through the case, the body looked notably wider than the tall, narrow book-style foldables Samsung has leaned on in recent years. From the angles shared, it read more like a passport shape than a remote control shape. That single change could alter everyday use more than a faster chip ever will. Starting with the outer screen display, the long-standing complaint about Samsung's book foldables isn't durability or speed. It's ergonomics. A narrow cover display forces cramped typing, weird app scaling, and a lot of two-handed use. People adapt, but they don't always enjoy adapting. The wider front panel changes that. It makes one-handed replies more comfortable. It makes maps, email, and web pages feel closer to a regular slab phone. And it reduces the mental friction of, I should unfold this for simple tasks. That's a big deal because friction dictates habits. Now move to the inside. Leaks so far point to an inner display around 7.6 inches, paired with a wider 4:3 aspect ratio. That's slightly smaller than the biggest panels people associate with Samsung's premium foldables, but the shape can matter more than raw diagonal size. The wider inner canvas can make split-screen multitasking feel less like two narrow columns fighting for space. It can make document viewing and editing feel more natural. It can also make video less awkward, depending on the app. You may get larger black bars on some content but better utility in productivity layouts. The public photos also hinted at a simpler rear camera arrangement, with two lenses visible through the cutouts. That detail lines up with the idea that Samsung will separate the lineup into two identities, a more extreme flagship and a more practical wide foldable. The case makes it hard to read sensor size, lens spacing, or final styling, so treat that as an early signal, not a spec sheet. This is where the naming chatter enters. The well-known leaker, ICE universe, shared comparisons involving dummy units. In that set, the tall, narrow design reportedly becomes the Z Fold 8 Ultra, while the wider passport-like device takes the standard name. If that holds, Samsung is making a statement. Ultra equals maximum spec and traditional proportions, while the standard model focuses on comfort and daily usability. That's an unusual reversal. In many product lines, the standard version is the default shape, and the Ultra adds features. Here, the rumored plan suggests Samsung might keep the existing silhouette for the power user, while offering a fresh form factor for people who simply want the folding concept without the narrow cover compromise. So why would Samsung do this now? One obvious answer is pressure from the broader foldable market. Buyers have seen wider book-style devices from competitors, and they've seen Samsung's own experiments inch toward better cover usability. At a certain point, you either commit to a new geometry or accept that the same critique will follow every generation. The second reason is portfolio management. Samsung reportedly has multiple foldable ideas in motion, including a tri-panel device often described as a Z trifold. That kind of product, if it ships, would absorb engineering attention, marketing bandwidth, and shelf space. And shelf space is a real constraint, both literally and in consumer attention. Which brings us to the flip line. There's talk Samsung might reduce or even end the clamshell series. Historically, the smaller folding style has had cultural impact, but book-style foldables have often driven the serious narrative, and in many markets, stronger demand among productivity-focused buyers. If Samsung can offer a more compact book-style device that still opens into a tablet-like screen, It could steal some of the logic that pushes people toward a clamshell. Many flip buyers want portability and novelty. A wider, smaller-feeling book design might deliver enough of that, while also offering the larger interior panel for work. That doesn't mean the flip becomes pointless overnight. The clamshell still wins on pocketability and a clear lifestyle identity. But product planning is about margins, volumes, and focus. If one line consistently underperforms, leadership looks for overlap to cut. Now, about the rumored unpacked date. July 22 has been floating around as a possible launch window. Dates move. Plans shift, but a public real-world spin lines up with late-stage testing. Companies don't usually let early engineering prototypes wander around coffee shops. Late-stage units are closer to final weight, thermals, and radio tuning. That's exactly when employees start using devices outside the lab. The protective case also tells you Samsung expected eyes on it. These cases aren't cheap, and they aren't comfortable. They exist because someone inside the company assumes the device will be seen. That makes the oopsie feel less like a single careless moment and more like the cost of testing at scale. Let's talk about what we still don't know from this sighting. We don't have confirmed thickness, hinge design, crease visibility, or final materials. A case can hide curvature and chamfers. It can also mask whether the frame feels squared off or rounded in the hand. And without consistent lighting, you can't judge the display's reflectivity or the crease depth. We also can't confirm the exact camera tier. 2 rear cameras could suggest a more streamlined model, but Samsung can still tune image quality aggressively with better processing. Lens count alone doesn't define results. And the Ultra-branded sibling, if real, may carry the more ambitious camera system. What we can infer is intent. Samsung seems to be exploring 2 distinct answers to the same question. What should a modern book-style foldable feel like when closed? The traditional tall approach prioritizes one-handed reach and a familiar silhouette for long-time users. The wider approach prioritizes comfort, typing, and app layout without forcing the unfold. There's also a subtle messaging shift. If Samsung labels the tall device Ultra, it signals the narrow cover isn't a flaw to be corrected. It becomes a deliberate choice for a certain buyer. That's important because it reframes the conversation from Samsung refuses to fix it to Samsung offers both. Now, the tri-panel idea. Patents have hinted at a 3-part folding design and even magnetic storage concepts for an S Pen. Patents aren't promises. Companies file patents to protect options. Still, the very fact that Samsung is working on stylus storage and multi-fold mechanics suggests it's planning a broader ecosystem, not a single hero product. S Pen storage is harder than it sounds. Magnets can interfere with sensors. Thickness constraints fight against battery size. And the stylus needs to stay put without rattling. Add folding display layers and hinge tolerances, and you get a complicated engineering puzzle. If Samsung solves it cleanly, it strengthens the productivity argument for these devices. So where does that leave the wide Galaxy Z Fold 8 sighting? As a credibility anchor, many leaks are numbers in isolation. A real unit in public ties those numbers to a shape you can immediately understand. Wide when closed, book-like when open. 2 rear cameras are visible through a disguised shell. If you're tracking this as a buyer, the decision may come down to your real habits. If you live on the cover screen, width matters more than an extra 1/10 of an inch inside. If you unfold constantly for multitasking, aspect ratio matters more than peak brightness claims. And if you care about cameras above everything else, you'll watch the Ultra variant closely. Over the next weeks, watch for 3 things. First, accessory leaks, because case makers often reveal dimensions. Second, regulatory filings, which can hint at battery capacity and charging. Third, consistent photos from multiple angles, because one image can exaggerate width, depending on lens distortion. Until then, the cleanest takeaway is simple. Samsung appears ready to diversify its book-style foldables into 2 shapes, and the wide model is far enough along that employees are carrying it outside. The wide Z Fold 8 appearing in public adds weight to months of design chatter. The protective case hid details, but it couldn't hide the new proportions. If Samsung pairs a wider cover display with a slightly smaller inner panel, it may deliver a more practical foldable, without abandoning the ultra tier for power users. If you're considering a foldable this year, write down how often you use the cover screen versus the inner display. Then compare that habit to this wider design. Share your preference in the comments and tell me why. So, if you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more exciting tech news and updates. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next one.